Well, but if the wind blows those things loose again. Well, it did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to call Blake again, or he's busy for a meeting? Oh, yeah, keep going.
So these things actually work?
Find out.
I am making no guarantees.
This is just gonna float you in?
There's probably something else you can put in there. This like lemongrass? Like spice food?
Yeah, a little bit.
I may actually just turn to you and make it a gesture saying, Mr. Schoenberger, is this okay with you if I make an executive decision?
Absolutely.
And
That's good.
you can say, well, I'll think about it, or whatever, whatever. I can see that most of the men in the audience don't have to. I put some on my neck and my face. What got me last night were not the mosquitoes, but the gnats. Oh man, they were driving me crazy. And unfortunately, I guess William was telling me that somebody forgot to ask Blake to have somebody spray for, stuff here, which would have been a good idea. If you come in yesterday, just spray. But we'll be okay. So I think when the kids come up and get their diplomas, I suggest you and I just stand. We'll stand right here and applaud.
So William has said this is a long distance to move the diplomas. He asked me to help him get them over the table. So
Okay.
maybe if you stand at this side, I'll get him the table like that essentially.
I don't know why they couldn't put the table right here. Is there a reason why we couldn't put the table there? Is there an aesthetic reason or a practical reason?
I think they wanted to get closer
For the pictures?
but I don't know.
Okay.
Here's
All
William.
right, let's get organized. William, is there a reason this table needs to be so close to the front of the stage?
I was thinking for people to be visible, for as students step up here, I think they're going to be more visible than they would do back here. But we could do something else.
I was thinking about putting the table there,
Okay.
so they could pick it up and then turn around without the table in their way, because otherwise the table's going to be between them and the pictures.
So they're going to pick it up, they're going to step up there.
Yeah.
Okay, and then go. All right.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just get them to sort of turn around, and if we can get them to turn around and pause, that'd be great.
All right. Will you help me with that? Great. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's perfect. They can just come by and pick it up, and and when they pick it up, just remind
You'll
them.
be standing there?
I'm sorry?
Will you be standing there?
I think Scott and I will be standing right there. I mean, I think I can be standing there.
I think to have sort of, maybe if y'all are either side,
Or
I'm
here.
back here, and that way, Don, you can sort of help guide them up
Yep.
to the front.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. All right. You gonna line them up?
Yep, let's do it.
All right, I'll start facing there as I. Thank you very much, Ms. Kim and Dr. Jung. We are here. We are finally here. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. I know, and I just checked with several of the class of 2020, and I asked them how it felt. They said it feels weird, but it feels good. And good is better than weird just by itself. My name is Don North. I had the privilege of serving Indian Springs School as interim head of school this past year, and I'm deeply honored to be able to return to the school to be a part of this ceremony to honor and celebrate with the class of 2020 their special accomplishments. And so on my own behalf, as well as the faculty and staff at Indian Springs School, the Board of Governors, and especially the class of 2020, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to these graduation ceremonies. At the same time that I welcome you who are here physically, I want to make sure that I welcome those who are watching this live stream on the internet, grandparents, relatives, family, friends, and especially the members of the class of 2020 who were not able to be with us today, but are watching perhaps, if they're staying up late, in China or Germany or other parts of the United States. It is a great privilege to be here. We have a wonderful ceremony in front of us, and there will be 4 student speakers. If they deliver the exact same message that they gave to me earlier, I can guarantee you that they will be outstanding. We'll find that out in a little while, but I'm looking forward to hearing from them. I want to simply point out to them as they come forward that Mr. Ellenis is running the sound, and so there's really no need for any of the speakers to touch the microphone or to adjust the microphone. He will make whatever adjustments are needed. When a speaker comes up to the podium, I would encourage them to take their masks off, put them back on when they finish. I want to thank you all very much for maintaining social distance during this ceremony, keeping your masks on. It's not comfortable, I know, but it is very important. Our fondest hope, of course, is that we have a wonderful ceremony and that everybody goes home safe and healthy. Of the 4 speakers that we will hear from, 2 of them were elected mayors, J.D. Hawes for the fall, and John Slaughter for the spring. The other 2 were chosen by their classmates to speak specifically tonight, and they are Shauna Moore and Jackie Ferrari. And I invite now to the podium Shauna Moore to deliver her remarks. Shauna.
Good evening. It's my honor to be standing up here, and I'm so grateful to be back with everyone again. I would just like to say, during these important years in my life, I would have definitely changed a lot. But being at Springs has changed me in some very unexpected ways. Walking on the stage is surreal, because I've always been in the audience with the choir, and it never dawned on me that I would be up here presenting a speech at graduation. It's been a long time coming, but we are all here to celebrate the graduating class of 2020. And I'm so excited and terrified of what comes next. But I know my class is resilient and more than capable of handling anything thrown at them. I'm here to express how Indian Springs can change a student for the better. Everything I've been through here has helped me grow and learn so much. I've made so many memories here, and if it wasn't for those memories, I don't think I would be the person I am today. I have loved my time at Springs. So here are some defining people and experiences that I would love to share. I'm going to be honest. I came to Springs ready to fly under the radar, keep my head down, and not draw much attention to myself. You can see now, I went a completely different path. I had no idea what Springs had in store for me. Everything was new. You had to walk outside to get to classes. Classes were much smaller, and there was a swan walking around. Having an open campus was great, most of the time, while others, not so much. Walking from class to class in the rain and cold were not fun at the time, but now I value those memories so much. I didn't know if I was going to like having to walk a fair distance in a 5-minute period, but now I'm so grateful for those brisk walks because I always got to see the beauty of this place. Now, even though I loved the outdoors, most of the time you could always find me in one place. In Town Hall, there are a set of benches on the other side near the rehearsal room, and the one closest to the entrance was my spot, and mine alone, along with my seat buddy, Molly Frozen. Many of the teachers here knew that was my spot, and I claimed that spot from 8th grade to the end of 11th grade. As a senior, however, I claimed a new spot in the senior lounge. Major upgrade. As you can tell, I like to have my spot. So I'd like to tell you about some of the people who have helped make Indian Springs one of my favorite spots. I would first like to thank Ms. Chang, or Chang La Shi. Because of her, I am a better person and student. She taught me how to be diligent, qin fen, have self-discipline, zilu, and have proper manners, li mao. I will never regret choosing Chinese because of her. Miss Chang may have taught me how to better myself, but I have to give my thanks to Miss Jacobs for working tirelessly to help my writing skills. The Silk Road was definitely one challenging paper, but I can finally say now I know how to write a pretty decent history paper. Just ask Dr. Davis. To be honest, I didn't actually excel in writing papers until Dr. Davis, but I really didn't excel in math until Mr. McGee. My dad tried to help me. You see, my dad understood math. However, I really did not. My dad gave up on teaching me math. However, Mr. McGee did not. Now, I understand math that my dad definitely does not. Mr. McGee was my 10th grade math teacher and my 11th grade math teacher. Because of him, I was able to score so high on my math SAT score that I didn't have to take a math placement test for college. I'm very grateful for that. I will always be grateful to him. While Mr. McGee may have broadened my math skills, I have to give my gratitude to Mr. Sheehan for opening the world of photography to me. I found a deep love for photography, and with Mr. Sheehan's guidance and support, I ended my years of photography at Springs with one of the most compelling portfolios I have ever done. I am truly proud of my work, and this artistic journey wouldn't have been possible or started without Mr. Sheehan. Not only did my photography skills broaden, but so did my writing skills and poetry and my knowledge of protest rhetoric, all thanks to the one and only Mr. Allen. I never knew how powerful poetry could be until I had to break down poems line from line, picking apart how it was written and what each line was trying to convey. Thanks to Mr. Allen, I may have a poetry book coming out eventually. Who knows? I can't end this without talking about the one thing that made me truly feel like I was a Springs student, and that was being a part of the choir. Choir, oh dear. Choir opened up a new world of music life to me.
You're doing great. You're doing good.
able to sing songs ranging from soft-spoken pieces like "Oh Love" to robust pieces like "O Fortuna, Carmina Burana." I'd never felt like I fit in for most of my life, but because of choir, I got to make magnificent music with a newfound family. And I will never forget the memories I have made with them. So for my final thanks, I have to give that to Mr. Dibble for believing and supporting me in my musical journey. Thank you for all the amazing choir trips. Thank you for the amazing tiring concerts. And especially thank you for the musical challenge of Come to the Woods. I would like to say a final thank you to Indian Springs and this community. I can certainly say that I've been changed. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? I do believe I've been changed for the better because I knew you. I have been changed for good.
Great job. Thank you, Shauna. What you just heard and what you just saw is one of the great attributes of the school, but also one of the great attributes about our students. I meant to mention this earlier, but I will make an executive decision. Actually, I think I should introduce to you first the new and current, and I hope long-term, head of school at Indian Springs School. There will be a formal introduction a little bit later, but would you join me in welcoming Scott Schamberger, please? Scott. And so I'm going to ask Scott if I have his permission to make an executive decision, and that is to invite the gentlemen here who have coats on and would like to take them off to do so. May I have?
Thank goodness.
Okay, very good. I've received official permission. Gentlemen who wish to remove their coats are welcome to do that. Just remember, men, seniors, to put yours back on when you come up for your diploma. Okay, thank you very much. I now invite to the podium, I'm sorry, we now have some music.
Class of 2020, congratulations. For a long time, I thought that our graduation, like most other graduations, would be the good kind of cliche. It's like a rom-com. You know exactly what's going to happen, and really it's the same every time. There are tears. You talk about how crazy it is that all these years went by so quickly. You hear different variations of the same graduation speech. If this were normal, we would know what to expect. The thing is, the harder that we try to be normal, the weirder this feels. For example, saying congratulations on finally graduating just packs a different punch this year. There's no way to make this feel normal. Our senior year is so interwoven with current events that it's impossible to think about them separately. It's not that our senior year happened concurrently with a global pandemic. Our senior year, or at least the end of it, was completely folded into our experience with COVID. Our senior skip day was spent quarantined. We don't get to hug each other. Our graduation, more than 4 months after our last day of in-person school, is more like a reunion than a send-off. I don't say this to complain or to put a damper on things, and I also acknowledge that not getting to do a senior prank isn't the worst thing in the world. But this year is a landmark in our lives. And even if in the big picture it's a relatively small loss, it still hurts. I think that it's okay to be sad about that. We don't get to redo this year. We just have to live with it. And in living with it, you find silver linings. We didn't get a graceful goodbye, but we did get an eventful one. Lots of learning through living, even if the living occurred while we were quarantining in one room for a really, really long time. The past few months have also been an opportunity to put our education to use as the world changes and we have to brave those waters on our own. Our entire generation sort of got pushed out of the nest, but maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we'll come out of this stronger. Maybe a normal, festive goodbye isn't something that we needed so much. At the end of the day, it's the same sentiment. I will miss you, just arriving differently than we thought. So class of 2020 and all of Springs, I already miss you. I miss eating by the lake with you. I miss fighting over the front parking spot with you. I miss singing in choir with you. I miss watching the swan chase the geese with you. I miss doing theater with you. I miss watching movies in the dorms with you. I miss going to Altamont games with you. I even miss going to class with you. I miss everything, and as cliche as it sounds, I'm so grateful that I got to be a part of something so worth missing. I love y'all. So that was the hard part for me. And don't let what I just said go to your head because you all can still be really annoying sometimes. No offense. Guys, thank you for everything.
Well done, Brandon.
Good afternoon. In April of 1917, my mother's grandfather left high school at 18 to fight in World War I. He and his class came into adulthood at the convergence of global war and a devastating influenza pandemic. Unlike him, however, we weren't asked to go fight in a war, but rather to stay home. It's certainly not as glorious sitting in front of a computer screen for 15 hours out of the day rather than flying fighter planes over the English Channel, but it is much preferable. I take the never-ending stream of TikToks being shoved in my face any day. Take a hint, Hunter and Parker. There's a general pathway into adulthood from being a teenager, and that the first milestone in that process is graduation. Our rites of passage from high school to beyond have been jumbled up and convoluted. A late July graduation, a summer of mandated home lockdown, a world we're just heading into coming to a halt before our very eyes. At the same time we were getting college decisions back, colleges were shutting down their campuses. Nevertheless, we've risen up to the challenge, and we're here now. If anything, the absence of those last few months at Springs has made our time on campus that much more sweet. I remember shadowing Springs the year before I came and seeing it almost like a summer camp. I saw students canoeing, walking on trails, sitting outside and studying, gardening, going to and from their dorms. It was almost surreal. When the next school year rolled around, I actually had a bit of a bad first day. I didn't know the schedule, I got lost a lot, and the upperclassmen were just so relaxed and confident, it made me feel I was lacking something. I should have been excited, as these students were the examples of what was to come. But instead, I was caught off guard. What kind of students are enthused to be at school? I was coming from Altamont, after all. Looking back, I understand why. Because they were happy. Because they were in a place that encouraged exploration and community, that encouraged being a teenager. They were enjoying being themselves, and that was it. As our class moved up through the years, we too became more relaxed, more confident, and more comfortable with the Springs environment. In our first year on campus, we were the largest 8th grade class to date, the first class to fully experience the new classrooms, the last class to have Mr. Vaughn as the head of school, and the last class to play, nay to win, Civic Mirror. Our second year, our class size doubled. We had a new head of school, and that guy from Celebrity Apprentice was elected leader of the free world. In our third year, we talked too loudly in the library. In our fourth year, we experienced 2 heads of school, 2 new swans, unrest in the student body, and we procrastinated college essays. In our final year, we had yet another head of school, and 8,000 miles away, someone messed with the wrong bat. The current student body is totally different from when we began. We've had teachers that the incoming 8th grade will have never heard of. We've seen massive administrative change, and we've seen adults of the world make a total mess of all things political. From this school community to the globe, we have lived through a period of dramatic change. Living through all this, we've been faced with real challenges, pushed out of our comfort zone, and been confronted with reality. But living through all of this at Indian Springs, we've also come to know the power of community, the solidarity of fellowship, and the feeling of home. My sister has a playlist with all the choir music from the past 3 years, and I've been listening to it lately to the detriment of my tear ducts. And the last stanza from a song entitled North keeps standing out to me. Smaller than dust on this map lies the greatest thing we have, the dirt in which our roots may grow, and the right to call it home. Life will change dramatically as we go into the world, as we're already seeing, but our attachment to this school and the people connected to it will be hard-pressed to falter. Lao Tzu, a Chinese philosopher from the 4th century BCE, wrote, "A good traveler has no fixed plans and is not intent on arriving." Compacted within that phrase are the greatest lessons I've learned these past 5 years. Confidence in one's journey, patience with life, and the ambition for self-betterment. It is my belief that I would likely not have embraced these principles elsewhere. It seems all the right factors for intellectual and personal growth lie on this campus, an overwhelmingly supportive faculty, a free and open campus that demands exploration, and an emphasis on experience as the primary mode of learning. I have witnessed myself and my classmates change dramatically over the years, growing in confidence, worldliness, and insight. And many thanks to Springs' encouraging and caring environment. We have formed some of the deepest friendships of our lives, found beauty, had fun, and explored our world in adolescent wonder. If there is so much to be found in a small high school in central Alabama, the rest of the world must be truly fit for an unintentioned traveler. Thank you.
Thank you very much, JD and John. It's now my pleasure to present several individual awards. The first is the Leadership Award, which was given in memory of Charles Jordan McDavid, Jr., class of 1958. The recipient is selected by the faculty on the basis of exemplary leadership and character exhibited through participation in student activities. The Jordan McDavid Award this year goes to John David Hawes. The Spiritual Awareness Awards are normally presented by McDonald Fleming, and Mr. Fleming is in a retirement center which is quite jealous of his time and presence. Before I present these, I just want to say something that I think you probably already know, and that is that Indian Springs School is enormously fortunate to have Mac Fleming here. He joined this school, I believe, in 1952. Is that right? He's been a continuous presence in this school for close to 70 years. As a teacher, he was the interim head of school one year. He has led the school in so many ways and continues to be a presence in the archives. He's a great man, a great figure, and just a wonderful resource for this school. So it's an honor for me to be presenting these awards in his place. The Spiritual Awareness Awards are given in memory of Alan Lavoie Furness, class of 1963, and Robert Barry Cartus, class of 1968. Recipients are recognized by their senior classmates as embodying the qualities of dignity, humanitarianism, and spiritual awareness. This year there will be 3 recipients. The first is Jacqueline Ferrari. The second recipient of the Spiritual Awareness Awards is John David Hawes. The third recipient of the Spiritual Awareness Award is Labdi Mehta. The Libby Pantazis Award, the recipient is selected by the faculty on the basis of exemplary dedication, joy, and passion in service to the school. This year's recipient is Alex McFadden. Before we proceed to the awarding of diplomas, I want to say very quickly something. A friend of mine, a former school head, used to tell the story that sometimes parents would come to him and say, "We're considering sending our student to your school. What can you guarantee?" And he had the feeling that they were asking about a college placement or test scores or something. And what he said to them always was, "What I can guarantee you is that this school will know and love your child." And I just want to let you know that Indian Springs School knows and loves the class of 2020. Let's move forward to the awarding of diplomas.
Ryan Aldahar. Jonathan Rajav Aurora. Trey Asher Atkins. Catherine Wells Baker. Catherine Louise Belzer. River Avalon Cardwell. Frances Vivian Caraway. Gilder Scout Carruthers. In absentia, Chung I-ching, Hunter Maxwell Crawford. In absentia, Hendrik Dahlmere. Matthew Lafayette Dale. Kathleen Rose Dawson. Elizabeth Lawrence De Palma. Carson Alexander DeSocio. Catherine Edith Driscoll. Ashton Eleanor Dudley. Evan Martin Dunbar. Hayden Colette Embry. Jacqueline Taylor Antonia Ferrari. Molly Sarah Frozen. Giovanni Enrique Garza. Alice Hudson Goff. Julia Rose Goldberg. Catherine Cole Goodrich. Virginia Carwile Gray. Andrew Frederick Hall. John David Lott Halls. In absentia, Benedict Heine. Marley Alexandra Hill. Luke Mackay Hillegas. Alexandra Grace Hodson. Rebecca Marie House. Catherine Isabel Hutchison. In absentia, Zhang Zichao. Avery Lanier. Dylan Lee. In absentia, Alec Rain Ledvina. In absentia, Lu Yi Chun. And in absentia, Liu Jingyu. McClellan Dodd Mahari. John Noah Malloy. In absentia, Jorge Anton Mananang. Benjamin William Mathis. Grace Marie McCarty. Alex M. McFadden. Aiden Wash Mater Woodruff. Labdi Yogesh Mehta. Peyton Grace Miller. Shauna Dave Moore. Devin Patel. Daniel Kelly Perkins. Sophie Caroline Reef. Jessica Mackenzie Ria. Miles Sheely Robinson. Sabra Morel Rogers. In absentia, Finn Lawrence Schallenberg. Thomas Parker Schill. Arthur John Balfour Slaughter. Laura Ann Sovacool. Benjamin George Standard. Ryan Wallace Standard. Forrest Clayton Terrell. Hampton Scott Terrell. Ethan Joseph Thomas. Maxim Alexander Thompson. James Tyler Tozy. Bryce James Tribble. Jack Henry Wally. Emma Wong. Mariella Wolf. In absentia, Shu Chenrian. Ariana Dion Young. Zhang Run Yang. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to finally present to you Indian Springs School Class of 2020. Congratulations, guys.
Let's wait just a second for the seniors to get their pictures taken, and then we'll invite Jackie Ferrari to come up for her closing remarks.
Good evening, everyone. It's crazy. This is a really weird time, isn't it? It's a really weird time. First of all, I want to say I'm really honored that my classmates chose me to speak, and I want to say thank you guys. I've enjoyed spending the last 5 years with you all at a school that I have always gotten to and will always get to call my home. Springs has helped me to cultivate my passions, a tougher mindset, as well as help me develop a better sense of who I am as a person. My journey here has consisted of a lot of ups and downs, but you guys are always there for me. I still remember my first lake day. After school that day, I took a few pictures and chatted with Kate and JD and some others outside the dining hall before heading toward the fun. I also remember saying hi to Alice every single morning on my way to the dining hall for breakfast. I'll never forget practicing for that one girls' basketball game we had in 8th grade. That was our season. I'll even miss us squeezing roughly 15 chairs, maybe more, around a dining hall table that seats 8. That same table that we have sat at just about every single day for lunch since 8th and 9th grade. Oh, and we can't forget about 8th grade PE or WellFit. Those were definitely the times. It's the little things that I'll never forget, like lunchtime, 5 days a week. Masses of students with their rumbling bellies flowed from all corners of campus toward the dining hall to beat each other in line the minute the clock struck 11, often earlier. To me, the longest class of the day was the one before lunch because it's when I got hungry and the most restless. For spring students, lunchtime is equated to freedom, simply because it's an hour and a half, but I think most of the time we realize it always flies by, so it never really feels like an hour and a half when you have to eat, study for tests, and get extra help. It's even worse if you're in choir and you have less time. There are lots of things that I wish I could redo. Just one more contempt concert, one more songwriting club performance, one more basketball practice, one more community dining, just one more 9 o'clock pickup game after study hall, just one more anything. I haven't known what to call myself for these past 4 months, but I can finally officially call myself an alum of Springs. I've come a long way since 8th grade, and I thank God every day I'm not the same person who I was as an 8th grader. I always imagined myself as a senior, and I think, who I am today is pretty close to who I imagined myself being as a senior back then. Sometimes I still cringe in my 8th grade self. I do wish, though, that I could go back to 8th grade, especially, and all the other grades too, and redo a lot of different things. But the most valuable lesson I've learned is to keep on learning through living, and boy, has Springs taught me that. I still remember my first year thinking that 2020 was forever away, and here we are now. Now I'm thinking to myself how 2015 was forever ago. Things take time, though, I've learned, often lots of time, and patience is key. One of the most meaningful things that Springs has taught me is in the form of conversations. Here, we're given the opportunities to engage in thought-provoking and challenging conversations, such as ones on race, politics, and religion, and the faculty and staff encourage us to talk about these things in the many platforms available, such as sending an email through student government or through reflections at town meeting. But regardless of what method students choose, we know that our voices matter, and that's what makes Springs Springs. As Springs students, we're especially blessed to be able to attend a school that many people only dream of attending. I mean, for crying out loud, what high schoolers get to go to a school, let alone 8th graders, where they can go canoeing with their friends on their lunch break? And what teenagers have daily access to a music hall with more gear than just about any band Mr. Ellenis has worked with? And we can't forget about the dark room. Whether it's enjoying yourself at Lake Day, arguing about bells, complaining about a new schedule almost every year, sitting with faculty during a meal, playing the piano during a free period, trying to figure out where student concert will be held, playing basketball after study hall, or having the whole swamp showing up to an Altamont game and still losing, there really is no place like Springs. If you know me, you know that I like music a lot. The content, I can definitely attribute this to the content program. It's changed the way that I relate to music in all sorts of different ways. I've never seen anything like the program at any kind of school, high school, elementary, or middle school, any school. It only begins to scratch the surface for the many other things at Springs that I've been involved in outside the classroom that have helped me to become a better person. I've collected so many happy memories here, such as screaming sessions, learning molasses and contempt, the scav hunt frenzy, and just the simple familiarity of the everyday Springs routine. Despite the happy times, though, there have been a lot of challenges, especially in the past 2 years for all of us. During our junior year, it felt like one thing after another was happening. And then during this past year, our senior year, to not be able to finish out the school year like we wanted to was crushing. The one thing I never doubted, though, through it all was our resiliency. We got stronger as a class, as a community, a people, and as a family. And regardless of the challenges we've experienced in our time here, we made it, guys. We made it. We finally made it. I think I can speak for us all when I say that Springs is more than just a school. It's our second home. It's a place where everybody knows everybody, and it's a place where students, we don't avoid our teachers. And it's a place where students have a say in how things are done. Springs is the C word we all love. It's a community. It's the 73 other intellectual classmates of mine, and it's the more than 300 of us gathering at Town Hall every single week. This is actually why I like Mondays, because it's when we all come together as a community. It's hard to put into words how leaving this place makes me feel. I have missed Springs so much since we had to leave back in March. It still hasn't hit me yet that I can't go back to my dorm room. It still hasn't hit me yet that this will be my last time on campus for a while. Because leaving is so hard, I can't leave without saying thank you to everyone. Faculty, staff, and administration, thank you for everything. I'm sure you know that I've done quite a bit of learning through living here, so thank you. Thank you for loving me, being patient with me, and most of all, teaching me. Dorm parents, thank you for caring for me and the other boarders, even when we didn't always deserve it. You work hard to make sure that we live our best life every year. And whether we have broken a broom, broken a microwave, broken the rules, or anything else that could possibly be broken, thank you for caring for us anyway. And to my fellow classmates, you each will have a special place in my heart for years to come. I love you all and I will miss you all, and I can't wait to see what you guys do in the future. Promise me one thing. Also, Ms. Tetzloff came to me yesterday and she wanted me to add in some rhymes, so I added a special poem for you all. You will never forget that promise me one thing, that you will never forget that you are great, or that you're not alone because someone else can relate. And when life doesn't go your way, try to acclimate. Yourself, you should never underestimate. I'm extremely grateful that I have had the opportunity to experience Springs with you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Jackie. I invite to the podium now J.D. Hawes and Dee Dee Driscoll, who will lead us in the singing at the Indian Springs School alma mater, and may I ask you to stand, please. Thank you. As we depart, may I remind you, please, as best you can, to maintain social distance. It won't work at all for us to have maintained such great discipline during the ceremony itself, and then for us to dissolve into a mosh pit. So as you leave, please be careful, be cautious of how you're leaving and who you're with, and do your best to maintain social distance. Thank you all very much. Again, congratulations to the class of 2020.